What's up, guys? Slayin here, and finally decided to make a video about parsing an Ulduar. Technically kind of like a feelscrafty parse guide. By popular demand, I've had a lot of requests to do a video like this, and the reason I'm showing you this page here is just to show you that right now I'm rank 1 All-Stars World, and I'm actually rank 2 Complete Raid World, which is pretty good. And I'm not trying to brag, I'm just trying to show you guys that I kind of feel like I've gotten a pretty good idea of how to parse well in Ulduar. And yeah, I do want to say too that rank 1 All-Stars and like Complete Raid, there's both a lot of RNG, kind of memey stuff involved in that, so it's not the most amazing thing in the world, and it changes every couple days, so I did just want to add that. Sorry for the it's going to be a little low quality because it's using a recording from my stream. I forgot to actually do a high quality recording from my raid last night. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to kind of talk off the top of my head. Sorry if it kind of sucks, if the guide kind of sucks. This is kind of something new to me. If you guys would rather something a little more in-depth and better put together, let me know. But yeah, this is what I got. Slaying's feels crafty parse guide. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start with Ignis. Tricks your tank right here. If you want to get on the boss slightly faster, it's a better way to just get that much quicker DPS. Obviously, you pre-pot, and the main thing on this boss is how much he's going to knock the tank around. So the positioning is going to be extremely awkward, and you just got to be ready to react. Now when he casts these, is it flame jets or something? You're going to want to try to get as close as you can to the boss so you can still melee him while you're in the air like that. Because it's going to knock the tank back a little bit. Don't get as close as I am right here. I'm like almost in the front of him. But definitely just pay attention to positioning. Also, Sapper, when you Sapper, try to hit one of these first Iron Constructs with it, because the Iron Constructs only count if they die for the parse. And a lot of guilds are going to at least kill the first one, so a little bit of extra damage you can get there. But yeah, I mean, it's not really much you can do. The tank's going to do as good as they can. They're just getting knocked around. You just have to be ready to react, and you got to hope that you do not get the slag pot. So yeah, pray you don't get slag pot. Be ready to react to the tank's movement and positioning, and you'll get a decent parse. This is actually one of my worst fights, but I feel like I've gotten a little bit better with it. That's really it for Ignis. Alright, Razorscale. This fight, well, you try to, it doesn't work for me. I try to stay stealth the whole first phase to get overkill, of course. You know, griefing your raid a little bit, but it is what it is. If you're trying to parse, you're trying to parse. Luckily in my guild, you know, we do splits. So if you're on a main, like my rogue's my main, they don't mind you trying to do little cringe things like that, as long as it's not detrimental and the ads die so fast, it's no big deal. Your guild might mind, so you know, you probably want to make sure that's okay with your guild before you try something like that. The little, so Razorscale targets, has these like targeted fireballs. Even if it targets you while you're stealth, you can't cloak it. So it's just, you know, unlucky. Also unlucky for me. This 3 weeks in a row I've gotten rank 2 world on this fight, but oh well. Notice how I'm not hitting anything, right? It's because I'm saving my ICDs for my trinkets. Same with my trinket procs. I don't want to hit anything. And once again, my guild's okay with that. So Razorscale's about to come down when Harpoon 4 is ready, you know that. So just get on him. Blast everything, blow everything except for Vanish. That's the most important thing to parse in this fight, is to hold your Vanish for his knockback. Alright, let's see the knockback. About 0.3, 0.2 seconds, you're going to want to hit the Vanish. And you just, I have a cast bar built into my add-on plater. So right, about 0.3, 0.2, that's the kind of the area you're going to want to hit it. I usually do 0.2, and just smack it. And easy peasy, you'll get a good parse. You know, assuming your guild has enough damage to kill him in one, get him to 50% in one phase, which, you know, if you don't have that, then I'm sorry. You're not going to get a parse. I do want to add, if you're a combat rogue here, if you don't feel confident enough to vanish the knockback, you can just click Killing Spree, and it will also avoid the knockback. But I would at least practice vanishing on 10-man mode maybe, just to get it down, even if you're combat. But, you know, it's good to know. If you're combat, you can just click Killing Spree and 100% avoid it. Alright, XT. Generally, you do not want to sprint or rocket boot in, even though I kind of like mess up and I do sprint. I mean, if you want to gamble a little bit, you can sprint, but if you get the gravity bomb twice and you don't have sprint to run out and run back in, you're going to lose a lot more DPS like that. But definitely at least hold rocket boots in case you get the grab bomb and you have to run out. Like right now, I'll just rocket boot and cloak and run back in. No big deal. Now I save potion, I save gloves, I save cold blood, save everything for the heart. Right now I just pop it all. I'll even vanish just to get more energy. And we killed this pretty fast, but we have enough time to get a full potion in. So it's pretty nice. Eventually that thing's gonna die so fast I don't know if it'll be worth. But I just try to get as much damage in there as possible. If you're combat, you do not want to adrenaline rush right there. You just want a killing spree. And you're going to want to adrenaline rush right at the start and at the end of this fight to be able to get 2 uses. And that's how our combat does it anyway. And I think it ends up just being much better. So, other than that, this fight's pretty easy. If your healers aren't the best, you're going to have to save Feint for his Tantrum. But we have really good healers, so I can just Feint on cooldown pretty much. I mean, I try to help him a little bit, and if it's off-timed by a little bit just so I can Feint the Tantrum, I'll do it. But here it's just a standard, you know, standard stuff. There's not many more tips for Assassination. For combat, the other big thing for them is they want to hold their Blade Flurry for when the little life sparks are up, because those things count on logs. So if you can get a fatty Blade Flurry cleave going on these little life sparks, you're gonna get a much better parse for combat. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much XT. We lust at the end of the fight for execute. Your guild may be different. Obviously save whatever cooldowns you need to have happen during lust, and try to time your, if you do pre-pot, try to save your next potion for like your trinket procs during lust. And definitely Sapper, I don't think I did here, but Sapper went ever there's a life spark or 2 up with him. I Sappered on the heart, which may be okay, but like right then with him and 2 sparks of it would have been a little bit more damage. Okay, and that's XT. Alright, Iron Council. So you want a pre-pot on this fight, and you want your Death Knight to Death Grip Stormcaller in. So also hold your gloves for when the Rune of Power drops, and if you're trixing, you know, don't trix the lock until the Rune of Power is down. You can feint 1 time right here like I just did, but hold off on feinting until he does overload, because you're going to want to have that feint up to stand in overload in the rune. As far as like parse rules on this fight, cleaving right now won't do anything. Logs don't take it into consideration. Right now the only damage that counts is Stormcaller Brundir. Damage on the other 2 will not matter. When Stormcaller Brundir is dead, then only damage on the Rune Master counts. And once he's dead, only damage on Steelbreaker counts. So I hope that makes sense. So just cleaving, there's no point in cleaving this fight. You know, I just sap when I'm in a Rune of Power. But go, once that rune's in and you're in it, go crazy. Pop your, like I said, I held my gloves for when that rune dropped. Second rune. This fight is going to have a big RNG element to parsing. Because the death rune, I'm sure you guys know, can spawn and on top of the rune of power, you'll have to run out. Luckily, this pull right here, we got some pretty good RNG. So we don't have to deal with any bad death runes. Use my gloves again. Always gloves you can while you're in that rune of power. It's just so much extra damage. I'm holding my potion for when we Bloodlust on Steelbreaker and a rune. What a lot of the guilds are doing now, honestly, if they get bad RNG on this fight, a lot of top guilds, I mean, they're just calling for a wipe and resetting. Right now, we got pretty good RNG, no bad death rune. The rune of power was down a little early, but it's still fine, it still works out. The tank's gonna... The hardest part is the tank getting him in position to where you can get in the rune and he is out of the rune. If you get that down, you're gonna get a good parse. Like my weak rush home, we're in the rune, we're hitting him, and he's not. So I blew everything. I vanished. I potion. My gloves, I'll use it when it comes back up, and you just blast him down. Also, if you have 5 points and you're in a rune of power and you think that rune of power might disappear, don't worry about pooling energy. Just straight up use your Envenom. It's gonna be so much more worth to get that massive amount of 5 combo point venom damage than pulling energy. And it's, I don't know, like, I don't have it timed exactly. I kind of just feel it out like, oh, I think this rune's about to disappear. I need to just send this 5 point venom. But that's it. If you're combat, I would say don't killing spree in, when the rune's down, because it's going to knock you out of the room. That's the biggest thing for combat that I can add. And that's it for Iron Council. Alright, Kologarn. Very fun fight. You're going to want to go Blade Flurry spec. I'll post a link in the description for the build and the talents. Most guilds have pre-pot here. Our guild, we killed it so fast I couldn't even get a second potion use out of it. So from now on, I'm going to hold the potion. But yeah, just literally blow everything. I aim more towards his right arm to make sure we kill that one first. That's the one that grips. But just really go off. This is a rank 1 world right here from my stream this week. For combat, you cannot killing spree this boss. I'm sure you guys know that, but it's pretty much the same for combat, how you play this fight. Combat's just going to do a lot more damage because they're going to have adrenaline rush. And let's go off. The little rubble guys that spawn, they do not count for your parse, so usually our mains just kind of avoid the rubble. We just kind of ignore them. And I mean, that's it. Just a fun, quick, easy little fight. Hopefully you don't get grabbed. Good luck with that. And we killed him, so I didn't even re-vanish right here. We just killed him so fast. But yeah, fun fight. I do want to add really quick that the damage on the arms only counts if the arms die. So if your guild like is slow killing him and there's a full health, the arm just spawned, any damage you do to it and you just end up not killing that arm, it will not count towards your parse. So just a quick note to keep in mind. Okay, Auriaya. We do a reset pull. We pull her, the Hunter Feign Death, and we just stand where she respawns. So I go Blade Flurry here, and you just gotta... I blow Blade Flurry way too late. This was just really poor performance by me, because we killed these little sentries so fast. So I should have almost pretty much pre-popped the Blade Flurry. And you're like most guilds, you know, it won't be that big of a deal. They won't die so fast. That was actually kind of... They actually died kind of slow there compared to normal. But Blade Flurry build is probably best on Auriaya for now. The other biggest parse tips I can give you on this one is Terrifying Screech if you're a human. You know, GG, you can click your human racial and you get out the first one fast. You can vanish it too. And I was human racial 1 and vanish the second one. You should have shamans put Tremor totems down, but sometimes that takes a second or so to tick. which just means less uptime on the boss. Those little dudes that spawn right there, they do not count on your parse. Don't bother fanning them if you're trying to parse. Just the feral defender and the first 4 cats, big cats count. So, combat rogues, not really. See, I'll vanish there. Nice vanish. Combat rogues, pretty much the same thing. You know, Blade Flare killing spree on the start, and just blaster. Hopefully your guild does not cleave the little adds down too fast, because if they stay alive long enough for a full Blade Flurry, you're going to get a really good parse in this fight. And honestly, if your guild kills her like at 2 minutes 15 seconds when you can get a second Blade Flurry, you're going to get a nice little parse there too. Our guild just kind of kills her too fast. Yeah, that's Auriaya. Alright, everyone's favorite fight, Hodir. Remember when I mentioned cringe RNG fights? Well, this is the king of all RNG right here. So, I mean, what else can I say? I break out a little freeze dude, I get my bleed going, and you just pray that you get storm power. Good luck getting storm power, because you gotta have it to parse. Definitely stand in a beam, you know, whenever you can. That's easy to do. I'm kind of starting to learn the time for the little icicle knockback. If you're in a beam in one of these round things, see, I step out, everyone else gets knocked back, I step back in. You kind of just learn timing a little bit, but see how it's still knocking me around a lot. I luckily get a buff here, storm power buff. Our melee was supposed to run out, I think, and spread it to range, but they didn't, so whatever, I got it. And I'm trying to find a beam that's not with the little icicle thing under it. It's just an annoying fight, what can I say? I got lucky and got a buff, so I can get a decent parse. Stand in beams. If you really want to be annoying and your guild has a like weak auras that show who's got the buff, just run over to them and yoink the buff, you know. Cares, range casters, they don't really matter. Just go yoink the buff from them. And just yoink this buff real quick, yoinked it, okay, nice. Get the kill, get the parse. Hopefully they'll remove this fight from ranks and all-stars. Alright, on to the next one. Alright, Thorim. So this fight to me is particularly annoying, because you can't parse on it unless you have a Priest Mind Control, a Warbringer, like you see right there. But the main annoying thing about that is it only buffs the 4 other people in the group with the Priest. So, you know, a lot of the top ranked rogues in this fight, they have the buff 100% of the time. My guild, we split the buff evenly between 3 groups, so I have it 33% of the time. Still have a rank 6 world with the buff only 33% of the fight, which is pretty good. And like I said, all the other rogues have it 100% of the time. A lot of guilds will just funnel it to some of their mains or people that it works best on, but right now our guild's trying to be fair with it, which is cool. I respect it, and I personally just wish they would ban the use of the MC ad on logs completely, because it's just annoying, but you know, we'll see what happens. So, other than that, parsing on this fight, you literally just stand there and hit them. I mean, there's not really much to say about it for melee. Proper cooldown usage, whatever. The main thing I could tell you, the little lightning charge, just try to use feint on that for a lot of guilds. Our guild, we have timed cooldowns to prevent damage in it we stand in for the first like 5 of them, and then after that they ask that we just start moving from them. Rogues though, we don't really have to because we have feint. We can just feint it, and if your healers get mad at that, then that's their job. They're supposed to heal you. It doesn't take that much damage with feint up. And that's Thorim. Easy fight. Just stand there and hit him, and hopefully you get the buff. Hopefully you have a priest that can give you the buff. You're not going to parse. That's all I can say about that fight. Okay, Freya. I feel like I've I I do understand this fight a lot better now, but there's a lot of RNG elements, of course, to this fight as far as how the ad waves spawn. So you definitely want to go Blade Flurry for this fight, and you're gonna want to get 2 uses out of it. So to get 2 uses out of it, for most skills that kill it her faster, you have to at least use Blade Flurry on the second group that spawns. So if you get the little lashers third, then you know you're kind of screwed. You have to whatever pops up second, you have to use Blade Flurry on to have it come off cooldown again. So right here, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get lashers, and I swap the Fell Striker. I pop Blade Flurry, and I just go off on these little fellas, man. Pop your Sapper, pop your Cold Blood, and you can also, I popped Cloak to stay in a little bit longer. You can also pop Feint there. I don't have Glyph of Feint, so I think I held it. I believe I swapped to Glyph of Phantom Knives literally just for those lashers. I don't know if that's best, but it felt pretty good there. I hold my potion for either Lust, or you're going to want to hold it if you can get these 3 guys with Blade Flurry, which I end up getting the second time around. Stand in the mushroom. Obviously got to stand in the mushroom, man. Mushroom gives you a lot of damage. I always blow my gloves on this dude when I'm in the mushroom, because the mushrooms just give you a big little damage boost. So another thing I forgot to mention at the start of this fight, do not hit Freya, because any damage you do to her right now, even like while I'm hitting her at the start, it doesn't count because she heals up to full. So just don't even bother hitting her. Alright, I don't have Blade Flurry up for these, so just fan. I swapped Fell Striker and just fan, pop Cloak. I'm going to get Blade Flurry up for the next set, and it's going to be kind of tough to not accidentally cleave Freya, but try to position to where when you Blade Flurry, obviously you do not cleave Freya. I mean, this fight's pretty much the same for combat as well. Not much would really change. I think I end up cleaving Freya some here, maybe. Yeah, I end up cleaving Freya some here, which, oh well, it's not super bad. So, most skills right now are going to pop Lust on her, and just use all your other cooldowns you have. But always, like, you know, pay attention to your potion, and try to use your haste potion whenever your trinkets are procced. It's a very big thing. And that's really Freya. It is very RNG how the ads spawn, and there's a lot going on, but I'm almost positive Blade Flurry build is the best for this fight. As far as with Glyph to use, I don't know that yet. I tried, like I said, I used Fan, Glyph of Fan, but it could just be Glyph of Feint. Glyph of Mutilate, Feint, and Slice and Dice for this build. I might try that next week. Fan felt pretty good when it was, you know, when it went off, but if you just look at the top rogues for this fight, a lot of them have massive fan damage on the lashers, and that'll get you good parse. So it's another one, another RNG one, man. Good luck on the RNG. Alright, Mimiron. Don't pre-pot on this fight. Kind of wasted. It's the RP. Now I sprint in here. I generally want to save sprint for mechanics, but whatever. Get on the boss faster. I save rocket boots for shock blast, but just, I mean, go hard right off the start here. He doesn't shock blast for a while. So just start pre-planning your path out with the rocket boots to be able to get back on the boss as quickly as possible. You can cloak the mines. When you're walking through mines like that, just always cloak. Alright, in and out. Easy peasy. So You can go Blade Flurry for this fight, but I think it's pretty bad. I've tried it once, and I think it's better to just go the standard build. You're only going to be able to Blade Flurry a little bit in phase 3, and the last phase, of course, is very good. But as of right now, I think just the single target normal build's better. Parse strats. I mean, you just gotta. This fight's more just about staying clean. I can give some tips for this next phase popping up. So, you know, whenever he comes up, he's about to throw a frost bomb. Normally, I'd want to pop, like, I'd want to hold my gloves to make sure it's a good frost bomb. But I just used it. I just went ham and used everything. And I got lucky right here because it was a good frost bomb. We didn't have to move out. So there's a little nice RNG element. Right there, it would be good for me to have had sprint up if it was a close frost bomb. So that's why, like, at the start, I normally would hold sprint. Spinning up is good. The only thing bad about spinning up is he doesn't to get rid of the fire that's right in melee whenever he's doing that, so luckily we're able to hit him a little bit here, but fire's starting to get kind of bad. I have to step out for a minute. This phase, you can blow your vanish at the start of this phase too, with whenever your trinkets proc, because it'll be back up. And Frostbomb's close, so I just get out. Just let them finish it. Next phase, so whenever the head comes to the ground, you get a little damage boost on it. So I try to save like some stuff for it if I have it, sapper or gloves, but I believe it's okay to just use it on this assault bot too if you just want to use gloves on cooldown. Because all this stuff counts. All these mobs count towards your parse, so just damage them if you can. Stay away from the bomb bots. If you can't hit anything, hit a junk bot. The assault bots will one-shot you. Sometimes if I get on them, I'm doing a lot of damage. I just pop evasion in case he turns on me. So yeah, I got my gloves going. I cold blood that. There's a lot of extra damage you can do right here. If you're combat right now is a good time to pop Blade Flurry. If you can get Blade Flurry off that guy and hit the ads, it's just gonna be massive damage. But that's, yeah, phase 3, that's pretty much what I do. Fire, you're gonna just take fire damage, but we have really good healers, so, you know, that's what it is. Just hit stuff. The only thing you don't want to hit if your guild does not want you to is the fire bots. We are actually killing the fire bots now because we don't want them to put out the fire because we want to get flame caps for the next phase so we can predict where the fires are. So that's why we just kill everything right now. And this next phase, if you're combat and you have Blade Flurry, it's gonna feel nice because most guilds now they bloodlust here and you're gonna get a massive chunk of damage. You can hit just the middle and the bottom with the Blade Flurry. So it's good to have sapper here. This is what I save my potion for. I save my potion and I use it in this phase with lust and everything. Use my Thistle Tea because I'm feeling risky. Most people are going to want to hold that for Health Stone, but like I said, we have good healers. I almost died of spinning up. Luckily, I turned time. And there's just a lot going on this phase. You just got to focus. Focus on mines because if you're dead, you're not going to be pumping. You're not going to be parsing. I almost died right here. Got down to like 400 health. Almost got a shock blast. Almost got a frost bomb, but didn't die. And I was able to get a little bit more damage on the fight. And I got a pretty good parse this one. It was like top 20, top 30, something like that. But yeah, that's Mimiron. Okay, Vezax. Pre-pot, boots in. Very important on this fight. I want to get on as quick as possible. And right now, most guilds, you're just gonna... I mean, there's not much. You're gonna have to tricks your tank a good bit for them to keep threat. And Also have tricks out. A very important thing is to have tricks for when the ad spawns, the hard mode ad. You're going to want to tricks the tank right away so you can get on him as soon as possible. Because he just spawns and he can one-shot you if you hit him before tank. So have tricks ready on the tank and just go crazy on him. Rogues usually should not have to kick on this fight. That's enhance shaman, and DKs is much easier for them. So we usually have a rotation between enhance and DKs. If your guild makes you kick here as a rogue, then I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just very questionable of your guild to make you do that if they have DKs and enhance. So right now, to get a parse in this fight, you can't get a parse in this fight because there is a new strategy. Unless your guild is doing a strategy, which I think only 2 guilds did it this week, and I'm positive a lot more will do it next week. But it's still a work in progress for some guilds. So for an assassination rogue, or rogue in general, the little black puddles on the ground that the casters are standing in, what it does is it gives you cast speed and I believe 100% extra magic damage. But for rogues, our poisons are counted as magic damage. So if you're in the black puddle, your poisons do way more damage. And I think the top ranked rogue parse in this fight is like maybe 2000 DPS ahead of the rogue that did not have that buff. And what their guild is doing, they're literally tanking Vezax around the room and just bringing him to the black puddles. So I don't know, it probably screws over the ranged a little bit, but it allows the melee to parse them too. Because I mean, DKs are getting good use out of it as well. But yeah, unless your guild's doing that, kiting him around to the black puddles, you're just not going to get a parse in this fight. It's not going to happen. I'm not saying you can't get a 99. Right now you could still get a 99, but it won't be a very good 99. Get a 99, do kind of just what I said at the start. I mean, your guild's going to lust when the ad spawns. Save your potion for that, and just tricks them. But that's it. Long, boring fight. So I do want to note that once he gets to 5%, the first time he hits 5%, all damage right after that is not counted until the ad spawns. So everyone stops at 5 because as far as the logs go and the parse goes, nothing counts right now. So it's okay for this downtime. The logs and the parse picks back up as soon as the ad spawns. So yeah, don't waste. Make sure your trinkets and stuff come back on cooldown. Don't hit anything. Just wait. Kick's still got to be kicked, though. You know. But yeah, that's General Vezax. All right, Yogg. Everything counts in this fight, so it's really about uptime. And right here, you can actually stay in on these guys and press feint when they blow up, as long as you're only doing it for 1, and you'll live with half HP easy. So like this was a couple weeks ago, and we're still moving out, but more lately, we're getting all the melee and everyone to just stay in. Well, just the melee with like rogues with feint, death knights with AMS, and if warriors can like swap to defensive stance or something and live it is fine too. So yeah, just uptime. Just get on stuff as much as you can in this fight. It's really long. It's kind of boring. Know your portal numbers. If you get linked, GG. You can't attack anything. Obviously, you can't hit the crusher. But once you get in the brain room, this is where you can use like boots. You can vanish. You should vanish the first time you come in the brain room. I'm not right here. Oh, okay, I finally do. But yeah, I'm gonna vanish. You don't want to pop your potion yet. This is Yogg 0 most of the time. You're gonna lust on the last phase. So, you know, you're gonna get 2 of these brain phrases, and you're gonna gloves each time. When you come back out, it's ready to go back in. Smack these little things around. No big deal. Back on the brain, use your gloves again. once you get to, 30%, you run out. So there's some like cringe parsing stuff you can do in this last phase in Yogg 0. And I believe a lot of the top rogues even do it. And that's just to spam fan of knives when a lot of these guys stack up. The important thing to remember though is damage stops counting once they reach, once they die if you're doing Yogg 1 light, or once they reach like 1 HP if you're doing Yogg 0, because they don't die in Yogg 0, but once they hit like 1 HP. Also the reason my camera was doing that, his gaze is like, it's like ticks. You can actually attack in between the ticks, so I was just attacking in between, but it's better really to just turn and stay on one of the Immortal Guardians during that whole time, because the damage counts in the Guardian, unless, like I said, they're at 1 HP. So yeah, now that I'm watching, this is actually the clip from our Yogg 1 light, the last time we did it a couple weeks ago, so these Guardians are dying. But this week and last week we both did Yogg 0, and once you do Yogg 0, the Guardians, they're everywhere. There starts to be a lot of them towards the end, and they do usually heal up some, so if you want to get a good fatty parse, once there is a million of these guys, just spam fan of knives on them. It's pretty much gonna get you a lot of damage at the end there. But I mean, if you come on 0 light, you're gonna end up just getting a pretty good parse, because I still don't think that many guilds are doing it. If you do it on 1 light, the highest parse you can get is 97. But yeah, that's it for Yogg. Alright, our friend Algalon. So there's a few little things you can do here that I've picked up on. You know, we lust at start. Most guilds are going to lust right off the start. Nothing really crazy about the starting here. I do not pre-pot on this fight because it just doesn't seem worth it to me. You could technically pre-pot and get, I think, 6-7 second uses out of it, and then get another potion when your trinket procs are back up. Still probably pretty good. I just personally don't like to do it. Fainting on this fight, most guilds are gonna like you more if you click feint when Cosmic Smash is about to go off, because it's AoE damage. But if you want to parse, you just gotta mash it on cooldown whenever your venom buff's up, obviously. Alright, the Big Bang is where you can get a little extra added DPS. Start kind of looking for where your black holes are going to be before you run there. I can see one on my screen behind me, and I just kind of wait and rocket boot. I did pretty poor job right there, but generally you're going to want to try to spend all of your energy and then rocket boot into a black hole. Also, one more thing you can do, I don't know if you guys noticed that, is right when we have a timer, a Big Bang timer, and right when it goes off, right when it hits 0, I hit Cloak of Shadows to... It's kind of lame. It saves you like 1 extra second. You can hit Cloak and get put back up top is how it works. Whenever you accidentally fall down in one of the black holes, if you hit Cloak of Shadows, it'll put you right back up top. So that's just a little kind of cringe parse lord strat you can do to get on the boss faster, is right when that timer goes down to 0 seconds, hit Cloak, because otherwise it will automatically put you back up, but I've noticed it gives me like an extra second to get on the boss, which is kind of nice to know. But the most important thing I would say is making sure you spend all of your energy and then rush into the black hole, and you know, hopefully by the time you're back up top, you don't have capped energy very long. It's very important. And yeah, that's Algalon. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm sorry this was not the the best made parse guide or anything. It was honestly me just watching my VODs and ad-libbing stuff. So I did what I could with it, but I felt like I had enough feedback and requests to do something like this that I just wanted to try it out. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about it, and in the future, like I said, I could maybe make something a little more clean cut, better edited, just something a little more in depth as well. If you guys are interested, just let me know. And yeah, follow my stream. I've been streaming on Twitch now for a couple weeks, couple nights a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. I will be streaming 2 out of 3 of those nights generally. And Saturday nights I stream our Overclock GDKP on my alt rogue, which has just as good a gear as my main rogue. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think, and have a good one. Take care.